サボるとは気に入った。お、内緒話かなら。お、内緒話かならば喜んで聞くぞ。
面白い提案だ。面白い提案だ。
What's up, man? I was grinding for a 10 pull here, and I'm gonna play some real games tonight. I got to do PGR as well. Hope you're doing well. I don't really expect anybody to want to watch this, but that's fine. I'm not really worried about it right now. Just chilling tonight. Low stress, no mauled. I don't really want to do this, though. This is boring waifu slop. I don't think there's any actual gameplay here. How many rewards do I get for doing this crap? Oh, actually an amount I can't ignore. Oh man, I hate doing this stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna do my gacha homework and then we're gonna play some real games tonight. Although I don't know how much of this I can take, because I don't like the waifu aspect of this game. I only like the gameplay. I'm immune to the Gooner stuff. But, if you can look past it, this game is pretty good. But they don't even make male characters anymore, so... Well, there's one coming. I can't wait for him to release. Got themselves in this mindset that nobody who plays these games, likes male characters, I guess. Yeah, I'm working on East 10 Proud Nordics. I'm probably gonna play that after I finish up with this. you can see why I do not want to do this. Should be, obvious why I don't want to do this. This is not fun. Sometimes they have really fun mini-games in this. This is not one of them. This is just... Dude, I'll just donate 10 bucks to not have to do this. That's what this tier of mini-game is for me. Whatever rewards I get from doing this, I'll just donate 10 bucks, man. Like... It's like when people get sponsored to play Raid Shadow Legends, and then people will say, I don't want to install that garbage, here's 10 bucks. This is exactly how I feel with this game. This is not very fun. Didn't they just release a Front Mission remake? Like, not that long ago? I'm pretty sure that they did. Put out a Front Mission remake. Was it bad, though? Because I know they got those same people to do it that did that House of the Dead remake. That was shit, so... If that's what you mean, then yes, I understand. Wholeheartedly. Hey, can I get out of this? Well, at least it's not Sengoku Basara. We're never gonna make another one of those again. They're too busy making a Resident Evil game every year. I heard that they have a Resident Evil coming out every year to 2030. I'm like, can I get something else, please? Those guys get a game every year. Can you do something else, please? Can you at least remaster Basara? Can you make, like, a recycled, DMC roguelike or something? I don't give a shit about Pragmata. That game looks boring. I'm glad they're making new IPs. I have zero interest in that game whatsoever. It just looks uninteresting. Like, the only thing that's interesting about it is the graphics. The gameplay doesn't look good. I don't really want to have to babysit a kid. A robot kid. No thanks, man. I hope it does well for them, because I want them to make more IPs, but... yeah, that I do not care about, like, at all. Zero interest. And Kunitsugami, you know, they did try that as well, but... it didn't seem like people liked that game. I never played it myself to form an opinion. The problem is that if their new stuff doesn't hit, then they're just gonna go back to, Resident Evil every 6 months, so... damned if you do, damned if you don't, I guess. If they made a new Front Mission, they would outsource it to randos, which is, what they've already been doing. It doesn't help that Japan in particular doesn't, give a shit about their source code, so that's part of the reason why the House of the Dead remake is done by randos who didn't do a good job, because the source code is long gone. This is why, Symphonia is also like this, right? They lost the source code for the GameCube one. That's why they keep bringing back the PS2 one, the one that's not good. Well, The PS2 version has its benefits, for sure, but it can't really be ignored that it is the worst performing version of the game, and I feel like after re-releasing it like 6 times, that they should have uncapped the frame rate, but they haven't. So, that game is in a really weird spot, but, you know, it's all their fault, really. The fact that they didn't preserve the source code. I feel like a decomp for that game is, more likely. The decomp for that game is more likely than them, actually doing it justice like they did with the Kingdom Hearts games. Where they, like, rebuilt the games from the ground up and uncapped the frame rate. I don't think that that will happen, especially with how Bamco treats Tales like garbage, giving us things we don't want. I mean, yeah, like, a front mission is not going to be, in-house at this point. They're going to outsource it. The problem is, they've already proven, I heard the front mission remake was not that great, so they don't really care who makes it, as long as they get it out and it's for cheap. They don't want to get, like, an actual good studio, which is interesting, because there's plenty of people making, like, turn-based strategy games that are really good, so I don't know why they don't hit them up. It's not like it can cost that much money to make a game like that. Versus something like FF7 Remake. It probably costs like tens of millions of dollars. Yeah, I don't know why they pulled out. That's pretty dumb. It's mostly, I don't know how much more of this I can take. I'm reaching my limit here. This is dreadfully boring and not fun. Yeah, I think I'm gonna hop off this after this one. Go do the, dimensional variable, which at least has some normal gameplay, and then gotta hop on PGR, and, that's gonna be it for Gacha homework tonight. We're gonna play some real games. I'm glad they made the game anyway. But, Japan makes great games. They don't really treat a lot of their stuff with respect. Hence why, I don't know how you lose the source code for Tales of Symphonia, which is effectively like the FF7 equivalent. I don't know how you lose that, but they did, and now every version of the game is the PS2 one, which sucks for gameplay because it's 30 FPS. Is it like pay to win or what? Or is it like this game where, you know, if you just play and you do some of these crap mini games, you can generally get everything? Being a light spender, this isn't like a MiHoYo game where you need to spend a lot or save up for like a year to get what you want. Which one is it? Because those are pretty much the two types of gacha games these days. I don't mind spending money on a game like this. I just want it to be, I want it to not feel like I'm throwing money into a fire, which is what most of the games are like now. The 50-50 pity crap and abysmal rates and stuff. Like, yeah, that kind of stuff I'm not really wanting to spend much on. Something like this where, or PGR, where the money you spend is actually, well valued. I'm fine with it. You know, I understand that the games need to make money. But, dreadful. Put like 10 pulls and doing this shit. This game's kind of like, this game's kind of like Wuthering Waves, where like the combat is good, but sometimes they go out of their way to not have a combat event. It's stupid stuff like this. Hope you're happy, Lolly. Yes, enjoy your meal, Anime Lolly. I'm very happy that you had a good meal. Now give me 10 pulls and shut up. I don't know how much more of this I can take. I want to play the actual game, not this. I can have one male character, please. The answer is no. They've gone full Gooner. Something you can never come back from. Full Gooner. Yeah, I can't take any more of this. This is torture. I'm about to not crash out, but tap out. Let's see, just gonna get my grind bits here. I don't think there's anything in this game that could really make you crash out. It's a very relaxed game, but some of these mini-games they have definitely get dangerously close. Well, see, there's Girls Frontline 2. But Girls Frontline 2 has basically become, it plays itself. Because what I've heard, there's been, like, a mass exodus from that game, because it's hard to make gachas around turn-based stuff, because at the end of the day, somebody who has a lot of money can just skip all the gameplay, right? And apparently that's how it's gotten. I've heard that you can literally, like, nuke a whole map with some of the new characters. Yeah, I could see why that would cause a mass exodus from the game, because, you know, turn-based strategy may not be as popular as it used to be, but there's plenty of people who like it, and unfortunately, no one's really making actual games with it anymore, that type of gameplay anymore. It's all, you know, gachas. But the problem with gachas is that, I've seen it, I've seen people do it, they, like, basically Rambo the whole map with one character, so it's devoid of strategy. I mean, it's basically not even a game at that point. That really sucks. I mean, I don't care for turn-based strategy, but I definitely empathize that they'll gladly make a pay-to-win gacha with that kind of gameplay, but they won't make like an actual game with it anymore, and that sucks, man. I definitely understand. Apparently a lot of people have been leaving that game. I'm like, well, this is pretty much what every gacha game is that doesn't involve action. And like, turn-based strategy and just regular turn-based combat is not outdated. Otherwise, Star Rail would not make like $30 million a month. But those games are just trash. Because the whole point of turn-based is to have like more control, right? You have direct control. There's a lot less RNG, and you can actually strategize and stuff in ways that you can't with like action combat. But then what they end up doing is just add power creep to the point where you just nuke everything. So it's like, well, you might as well just play an action game at that point, right? That's the problem. Like, you're just doing the same thing in different steps, right? They effectively remove all the strategy from it. It just revolves around spending money and nuking the whole screen. And I've heard that's why Girls Frontline 2 has had a major fall from grace, because apparently it wasn't like that at launch. Like, the gacha characters were strong, the limited characters were strong, but not to that point. I think these companies need to, just make a regular game like that. Where you can't just, like, drop $600 on a character and finish the whole game and completely remove it of any gameplay. But, pretty much all the turn-based games, if they're not like that now, they will become that, because the player base dwindles, and they know that they have whales playing that have a ridiculous amount of disposable income to effectively remove the gameplay. I heard good things about that game at launch for people who like, you know, TBS games, turn-based strategy, but it is not that anymore. It's pay to remove all the gameplay, you know. You can do that with Cheat Engine on, like, Disgaea, right? Disgaea has its fair share of predatory monetization as well, with the whole fiasco right now where Disgaea 7 has 2 versions on the eShop, and if you buy the Switch 1 version, you can't upgrade. You gotta spend another $70. It's not like that is, that's devoid of predatory stuff too, but it's still better than a gacha. That's kind of why I say that turn-based combat is not trash. Turn-based gachas are 100%, because they always become that eventually. Also, it's a lot easier to do power creep in a game like that, where your execution and stuff does not matter. It's strategy, but the problem is the limited characters remove all the strategy. So it really is just like, well, what's left at that point? Games like this can manage power creep by still requiring you to do execution. Turn-based games can't, because there is no execution. The execution is the strategy, but you know, you can get like 6 dupes of a character and just push a button and kill everything. I think some people are very closed-minded when they see a turn-based game and they complain about it. When they see a new turn-based gacha, and like, on one hand, they're actually not wrong. Those are, like, usually become devoid of gameplay within a couple years, if not instantly. A lot of the ones that aren't doing well are the ones that become like that, like, instantly instead of gradually. Like Girls Frontline 2 apparently became that. It wasn't like that at the start, but it became like that later. To where the only thing that matters is how thick your pockets are. All the benefits of it being turn-based are effectively removed by the microtransactions. Yeah. I mean, it depends on how desperate they are. Do they actually have any integrity to make it so the strategy stuff actually matters, or do they just gonna try to get the you know, sons of CEOs or whatever playing that game to just donate thousands every month? And then they just cater the game towards them because they're making more money off those couple people than, like, normal people like us that can't drop that much on the game. But, I don't know. Ball's in their court, really. There's definitely a market for that stuff, but it's just not being catered to properly. Yeah, I saw somebody playing Girls Frontline 2, and it legit looked like somebody playing Call of Duty online with hacks, like mega speed and one-shotting everything, but it's turn-based. That's like completely devoid of gameplay. Like, what happened to this? It actually looked pretty nice, but it is definitely not that anymore. The game declined with the quickness. See, that kind of stuff is fun in Disgaea, but in Disgaea, you don't have to pay like $1,000 to do that. That's the difference. Disgaea is plenty predatory too, but not to that extent, man. You gotta really try to be that predatory. It's quite the task to be that predatory. That's like going out of your way to make the game not worth playing. Yeah, I played Peak of Combat 1.0 hardcore. I never really stuck around when it went to 2.0. I hear that the characters are like a lot better now, but I don't know, man. No PC port makes me not care. If they had a PC port, I'd be willing to give it another shot, but I can't be asked with those emulators, man. I'm tired of that shit. I'm sick and tired of the emulators. I don't know why they don't make a PC port for it. I feel like they'd be making a lot more money if they did, but they're allergic to money. Nowadays, if you don't have a PC port for like an action game like that, it pretty much is dead on arrival. Goddess Order and Black Beacon are the most recent examples. Games like weren't bad, but just shit to play on mobile. And games like this that make like less money have native PC ports. I mean, Black Beacon was just kind of a meme because it didn't even have controller support. It's a 2025 game and it didn't have controller support. This game, before it had a native PC port, did have full controller support. Like, you could do everything but the menus with the controller. So, I don't know what excuse they think that they had, but that's 100% a reason why that game died. They didn't have, like, the bare minimum for people to want to actually play their game over something like this, which is not mega popular, but it is established, and they've maintained a good relationship with the players. You know, the whales, the dolphins, like me, because I'm a dolphin on this game, and then, you know, the free players as well. So, like, why would you play Black Beacon when they're making it difficult for you to care? They're, like, making it difficult for you to care, right? No controller support, no PC port. Like, you could just go download this, and the gameplay is quite similar. So, Goddess Order was the same thing. It didn't have either of those things. I don't think it had controller support. I could be wrong, but not having a PC port didn't do it any favors. I feel like that's kind of just the standard at this point. I think for turn-based games, it's fine. It's fine to not have those things for turn-based games, but I feel like all the best action gachas have a PC port at this point, so if you're not going to put in the bare minimum effort, you know, people just aren't going to play it, which is why both those games died incredibly quickly. Goddess Order made it like 6 months, and only one of those months was like global. I've heard Peak of Combat has improved. I just don't know why they don't have, like, at least a Switch 2 port or something. I'd consider playing it again if it had that. Emulator is swamp ass. Really hard for me to care about that. The game still is worse than 1.0 though. Although I've seen that the movesets have improved since launch, where they basically just took the movesets from 1.0 and they just split them into different characters, which is pretty whack. But they're doing more original stuff with it now. It's not all just recycled Peak of Combat stuff, because I spent a fair amount on that game to make those videos. I'm like, you're just selling me back the same thing I already have. I've already experienced. And I'm like, no, I'm out, man. I'm not doing that. I already paid for all this stuff on 1.0, and you're just selling me back the same thing. It's kind of like, I'm tapped out at that point. Not going back. But, Peak of Combat 1.0 was a trash service game. The title was very accurate, though. The combat was the best out of any of these gachas, but it didn't really have a lot of reason to log in and play. It was devoid of content. The only content was the weapons of the characters. That was it. There was nothing else. I think they put too many resources into actually having a decent length DMC campaign as like the main content, but then they didn't really realize this is exactly why a lot of these instance-based gacha games like this and PGR don't have stories that expensive, because you only play through it once, right? It gets a waste of resources. The only thing that you can recycle is the enemies, right? You can recycle the enemies, and, you know, maybe some of the rooms that you fight in, but everything else, you only play through it once. And I could tell when they made that the 1.0, they didn't think of that. I see people still ask for story. I'm like, well, nothing wrong with wanting more story, but there's a reason why they don't do it. That's why story in these games is usually very low budget, because it doesn't make sense to divert resources to something that's only going to get used once. I think what's interesting about this game is a lot of the bosses in the story aren't even reused, because they're tailored towards whatever character is featured and being advertised in the story. So they have like whole mini games and stuff in there, but they can't like use it for endgame content. Peak of Combat 1.0 was not as good as it looked in those videos. There was fun to be had in it, but it had like no content, so the game got to the treadmill design extremely quick. Mostly because there just wasn't anything to do. They only had like 3 game modes. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of the Avengers game that came out a while back. It actually was a lot like that game. It had good combat, but nothing else. The endgame content was barren, non-existent, and poorly designed. At one point, though, it was very hard to play. One point, though, was not easy to play. You had to jump through a lot of hoops to play that game. Ultimate Alliance 3 desperately needs a Switch 2 version. That game was torture to play on Switch. Consistently sub 30 FPS frame rate, and then also like fiscal year load times. I'm surprised they haven't. I feel like with the new Avengers movie coming out, that'd be an easy way to do some promotion without having to make a new game. It desperately needs it. That game barely runs. It is struggling to run. It's like barely hanging on. Playing that on emulator is a pretty life-changing experience, because all of those things go away. I would hope that they would commission Team Ninja to do that, like, look, just unfuck the frame rate and make it not take, like, a minute to load one combat room. The game had its fair share of faults, but those were the main problems. I feel like with the new hardware, they shouldn't have any problem. Won't be surprised if Megarashi becomes that towards the late game. Well, hopefully they have more integrity. Hopefully they have enough integrity to not turn it into Girls Frontline, but I don't know. I'm sure it is very hard to not want to do that when people will spend thousands to skip the entire gameplay. Who knows if they can hold out. They need enough people donating to the game that aren't mega whales, I guess, for them to not go that direction, but most turn-based gacha games do become that eventually. Just how quickly and how badly is the question. Girls Frontline 2, it seemed like it was a very sharp decline. Did not seem like it was even remotely gradual. It's just like, hey, drop 1K on this character and you can just rambo around the map, but turn-based instead of action. But, you know, you basically turned it into a Muso at that point, right? I don't think that's what people who would want to play a turn-based strategy game would want. I think they would want the strategy to actually matter, but it's the same story with every turn-based gacha game. It becomes that eventually. I do think people get a little bit too dismissive towards turn-based gacha games. They just see that it's turn-based, they're not interested. But, I don't know, at the same time, they're kind of right. You know? Whatever crazy price they want you to pay for the next Disgaea is still less predatory than playing one of those. Which is why it's crazy that Disgaea actually did have the gacha game and they ruined that too. I think that that would print money. Effectively just skip the grind and BOP without having to like actually build your characters or anything, but that game's long gone too. This track is so good. Vanguard sound delivering. Same people that do the PGR soundtrack. The entire technical aspect of Ultimate Alliance 3 was terrible. It became actively torturous to play it. It was torture to play that game. Like I said, I'm very shocked they have not done any kind of remaster for it. Feels like something you would obviously do. Alright, looks like I gotta do one more. So it's gonna be enough for a 10 pull. Let me see here. Yeah, it will be. Alright, we'll do one more. We'll do one more. Let's be done with the season. No, we'll just finish up the season and play some. Well, I've got to do PGR after this, but that's only going to take a few minutes. And then we'll play some real games. Alright, so what's the goal here? 160. So I clear on difficulty 5 and then 5 stat boost items. Alright. I can do that. Might not even need to do the whole thing. Godzilla Battle Line, what is that? What is Godzilla Battle Line? I'm interested because it's tokusatsu, but like, what kind of game is it? Because the new Kamen Rider Gacha is hot ass. It's like a Flash tier tower defense with barely any gameplay and like a $5 budget. It doesn't seem like anyone's playing it. It's probably not going to make it much longer. Like, they should start putting more effort into those games, but I guess not. The previous one was trying to go for Fujoshi, with, you know, only having male characters and stuff. But, I guess the story just didn't hook people. And then also it was, like, devoid of gameplay, so that doesn't help. I think they were very closed-minded when they pitched that game, because it's not like women don't like having actual gameplay, but I looked at the gameplay of that and it was non-existent. It seems like that's one of the reasons why it didn't do well. It looked incredibly basic and cheap, and, you know, I don't really think having them be like Bishonens really did much of anything, so, because there's already plenty of games to play like that that are more established, that won't shut down in a month. I just want a good Kamen Rider game to come out again. I would hope that something would happen this year, because it's the 55th anniversary, and they're simulcasting Zets over here, but doesn't seem like it so far. I would hope so. Because these last couple gacha games they've been putting out, they ain't it, man. Shit is zero budget and effort. Something like this is pretty low budget, but like those Kamen Rider gachas are like, they make this look like Grand Theft Auto 6 in comparison. It's just like GTA 6 levels of budget compared to the last couple Kamen Rider gachas. Like, zero gameplay or budget. And they wonder why people don't want to play them. Like, just make a console game, bro. Shin Kamen Rider Rumble was not exactly a AAA masterpiece, but at least it had gameplay. Well, I mean, yeah, there aren't many kaiju games to begin with, so, I mean, that's understandable. It's also, like, extremely hard to make a kaiju game have actual gameplay. Especially, like, with how people will be or something like that, where if you make them too fast, people will complain, right? But if you make them fight like actual kaiju and be slow and plotting, you know, people aren't going to want to play that either. So I think a tower defense type thing is probably the best way to go, actually. Bayonetta 3 had really garbage kaiju minigames. But, you know, they did fight like actual kaiju. It's just, for most people, they don't find that kind of thing fun. It's like a damned if you do, damned if you don't moment. If you make them like super robots, the game will feel better to play, but people who are like die-hard kaiju fans won't like it. But you'll get more normal people to play it. And if you make them fight like kaiju, it feels very slow and plodding, and the average person's not going to be interested, so... I think Gigabash is pretty good. Have you played Gigabash? Gigabash is, probably the best kaiju game on the market right now. Especially now that they have actual, Godzilla and Ultraman characters in there. It's kind of a no-brainer. If you like kaiju stuff, I recommend that game, especially now that they have like licensed characters in it now. They didn't at launch, but that is a high recommendation. One of the better Toku games you've ever gotten. Yeah, I would recommend that game if you like kaiju stuff. It doesn't get much better than that, really. I mean, kaiju games are just way harder to make than regular Toku games. Most tokusatsu is very fast-paced and explosive, and has a lot in common with character action games, but, you know, kaiju fans want them to lumber around, which is what they do in the movies, but for most people, that doesn't really make them want to go out and buy it. I mean, which is fine. The kaiju fights in, Bayonetta 3 felt bad for that reason. They were not, what any normal person would want. I would not fault anybody for seeing that and saying, like, I never want to play a kaiju game again. Like, nah, I understand. Yeah, Gigabash is solid. It's basically made by, like, really passionate... I think they're from, like, Indonesia? They're from Southeast Asia somewhere. And, they're just really passionate about kaiju stuff, and the game did well enough to get, like, official licensing, so... It's pretty much the best Godzilla and Ultraman game by default. Even though it's not, like, exactly, either of those things. But, just on the basis it's a decent fighting game, and, you know, it's got them in it. They're not really going to get much better than that, most likely. It'd be pretty tough. I think kaiju fans don't understand how hard it is to make a game like that. It's like the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fighting game gets a lot of praise, but it's like, dude, they don't fight like the show, really. Well, Super Sentai and Power Rangers are kind of weird in that regard, because they do fight like that when they have budget, but it was a weekly show that ran for 50 years, so budget is kind of something that doesn't exist. They did experiment later on with, like, making the suits a lot lighter so that they can make it fast, but like they don't fight like kaiju at all in that game. It doesn't even really represent the show. It's a good game, but I could see kaiju fans can be very picky, so I could see that them not liking that game, but definitely one of the better ones for sure, mostly because it's just competent gameplay. It's not like anything super special, but you know, it's playable. Project GG, yeah, I was kind of excited for that too, but Platinum is declining at an alarming rate, so I don't know, maybe they'll bring it back someday. Well, that's not entirely a bad thing, though. They still have some pedigree, even though most of the best people have left. It was announced that there's a new studio called Eel Game Studio that has like Kenji Saito and Takahisa Tara there. Those are the guys that directed Astral Chain and Revengeance. So I really don't know who's left at this point, but it's not like the games were perfect even when those people were there anyway. Astral Chain is really unique combat, but is full with a lot of stuff that's not actually playing the game. Ninja Gaiden 4 actually felt better than those classics in some ways, because they didn't have a lot of forced walking sections and bad mini games and stuff, but who knows? Really feels like Ninja Gaiden 4 does not have that stuff, specifically because Kamiya is not there anymore. So make of that as you will. But they'll definitely still keep getting work for sure. See, the thing with that is that game sold extremely well, and they've done nothing with it. No Switch 2 version. That game desperately needs it. I've heard from numerous people that have played that game to like the highest level that the endgame content is a constant slideshow on the Switch. The only way that you can actually play that game at its full potential is to either buy a Switch 2 or get a ROM of the game. And you think with how much it sold, they would at least do that as the bare minimum, but that's not the case. They made something that the hardware can't run. Bayo 3, same thing. Where are the Switch 2 versions for these games? It's well past being picky about frame rate, but it's like the game literally can't be played as intended because the hardware can't handle it. So, I don't know what's going on at that company. I've heard rumors that there's supposed to be an Astral Chain, like, Switch 2 port, and it desperately needs it. So I've heard from numerous people, like, the game may be unorthodox and weird, but it does have good combat. However, you can barely experience it on the actual hardware. You have to upgrade to a Switch 2 or get the ROM. And I don't think that you should have to do that. They should have an actual upgrade. It's not like that game sold bad at all. It was a relatively high-profile game, especially because I don't think there was a whole lot else AAA coming out of the Switch at that time, so they had a lot going for it. I think having an upgrade of some sort should be bare minimum, but that doesn't seem to be the case. I have my own copy that I dumped, and the game is 1,000 times better on emulator. But, you know, that's not something that everybody has access to. Making an actual official upgrade would be the way to go. Bayo 3 also was the same thing. To a lesser extent than Astral Chain, but same problem. You know, the game actually has a lot of depth, but playing on the Switch, you can barely do it. At least that game runs uncapped, so if you play it on Switch 2, it just stays at 60 all the time, but Astral Chain, for some reason, they hard-coded it at 30, so the only way to make it play better is really to go get the emulator, which has a 60 FPS mod. Bayo 3 kind of doesn't really need one. It definitely could add a lot to that game, because the story in that game was such a drag to play through. I actually thought that was like the worst campaign they've ever done, but performance-wise, if you can get your hands on the Switch 2, it runs like block 60 constantly, so I don't know if that one needs it. Astral Chain and Ultimate Alliance 3 for sure. What directional input timing? Is that true? How does it mess it up? I'd like you to elaborate, because I was going to play through that game on emulator at some point. Maybe as soon as next month. If you could elaborate, is it worth playing like that, or is it too much of a disadvantage? Because I've never heard that. That's news to me, so if you could elaborate, I would greatly appreciate it. Oh, that's not that big of a deal, is it though? It doesn't sound like a game-breaking type of thing, you know. That's just usual, what happens when you take something where the game logic is tied to the frame rate and you uncap it. That doesn't sound too bad though. That sounds alright. Something you could get used to. It's not like the God Hand 60 FPS where the mechanics like don't work. Like when you juggle enemies, they fall down faster and stuff. So it's like basically a different game. It doesn't sound that bad. Probably make a macro for it if nothing else. That doesn't sound too bad, but I'm not an expert at that game, so I'll take your word for it. Yeah, I can understand that, especially if you got a lot of hours in the Switch version. Maybe somebody will fix it. Somebody made a new God Hand 60 FPS mod, like, not that long ago, but it has the same problem where, you know, the game logic is tied to the frame rate, which means that, you know, it runs at 60, but it doesn't play like it's supposed to. Oh, nice! Nice. Well, that was worth the grind, wasn't it? It was worth doing that shit minigame for that, huh? Well, there. Now I'm basically done with this patch. Nice. That was worth the pain of that shit pinball minigame. There we go. Now I have a Shadow Team. Thanks, game. Thanks for hooking me up. Alright, let's move on. Surprising, compassion from the game there. Like, hey, you complimented our game and you told the people that are watching your stream that, it's a good game and not predatory. So we're just gonna give you the character. Like, hey, I'm not complaining. I'll always show good stuff. That's what this channel's about. You don't see me playing, random trash just to make money, so I'll take it. Transformers Devastation is a great game. I wish that... I heard rumors that they're supposed to be bringing it back. I don't know if those rumors are true, though, but I've heard that supposedly they may be renegotiating a license for it, which would be huge, because a lot of people did not get to play that game. It's one of Platinum's best games, if you ask me. It's hard to find a Platinum game as laser-focused as that, with a lot less of the usual bullshit that brings their games down. So, that's really cool. I hope that it happens, but I'm sure dealing with Hasbro is hell on earth, so I don't know if it will happen. But I've heard that a while back, that it might actually be coming back. Yeah, that game is, underrated. Mostly because it doesn't give you a lot of friction with playing it. There's no... well, very minimal minigame bullshit in that game. I played it so much when it came out. I put an insane amount of time with that. Bayo 3, in comparison, I tapped out of that game after, like, one playthrough. That game I just could not stand. Oh, man, the campaign was torture. Like, Devastation doesn't have any of those problems. It's pretty much, you just play it, Solid video game right there. Recently S-ranked all challenge missions. Oh, that's pretty cool, man. Congrats. Alright, gotta go buy the battle pass. Give me a moment here. I took a break from this game for like a month, so I gotta make up for lost time here. Give me a sec. This thing's asking me to put in a code, and then it doesn't give it to me. It's like asking, so it's like counting down like a time bomb or some shit. Give me the code, or I'm not gonna spend any money. Cut-offs. Hate this verification shit. I've bought off this site like 20 times. I don't know why I still need to do this. Well, their shit's not working, so I'm about to wage quit here. Yeah, it would be nice if you'd actually send me the damn code. Well, they lost their chance. Goodbye. I need you to send a verification code and it doesn't send it. Well, too bad. You lost your window of opportunity to make some money. That's a full-on wage quit right there. The impulse buy opportunity is gone. I was going to buy the battle pass, but no, if it's not sending the code, I'm not going to do it. I'm out. Game's already closed. So, I'm sure they're crying over the office right now. He didn't give us 20 bucks. Too bad. Your shit doesn't work. I spent like 20 bucks on Aethergazer today. I had no problems. So, yeah, get your shit together. Otherwise, there's not going to be any donations. End of story right there. Anyway, we're going to play real games now. Their site's probably down or something. I don't know. I'll figure it out later. Let's play real games now. We're done with the Gacha homework. Transformers Devastation is definitely a solid game. High tier. No, Aethergazer is a pretty rewarding game.
Welcome to the Ace Mine training system.
Buying like the battle pass on the monthly card, you can get pretty much every character. It's very light spender friendly. It's actually less whale friendly, ironically, because they have a very strict limit on how many packages you can buy. So the value drops off a cliff. But if you're like me and you don't have a lot of money, that game is awesome to play because it does reward you quite well. Oh, the ranking system is terrible. You're not wrong there. The ranking system is awful. You can play really well and get a C, and then just like one-shot stuff and get a double S. I pointed this out when the game came out. I think a lot of people may have thought that I misunderstood. I'm like, no, you see me clearing this shit with no damage, and I don't get a double S rank. Like, shouldn't the act of not taking any damage, you know, at least heavily increase your chances? It doesn't in that game. The ranking system is all out of whack. That is not a game that rewards playing well. He really wants you to like interact with the gear system and stuff. Yeah, you can play really well in that game, and the game basically gaslights you into thinking you're playing bad, which is not my idea of a good rank system. If I stylishly kill everything and take no damage, I should get a good rank. But that is not how that game works. I don't know, man. They were probably extremely rushed to get that game out. Especially because all those games were up for only available to be bought for like a year. I can't imagine Activision was looking for anything more than a quick turnover on their commission. They didn't give them any time to like patch the game or anything. It's blatantly obvious. I think the craziest thing is that Korra, the Turtles game, was only up for like 6 months. Why would you bother to get a company like Platinum to make the game, you know, assuring that it actually is a good game and not throwaway shovelware, if you're only gonna have the license for like 6 months? Like, I don't understand it. It still confuses me. It's like, you're gonna pump and dump the game that quick. Why didn't you just get a shovelware developer to do it like everybody else does? There was a Turtles game that came out recently that was exactly that. You know, shovelware. I don't understand what the hell business decision that was to like actually get a reputable action game developer to make that Turtles game, but then only sell it for like 6 months, and now it's lost media. Like, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. It's like, you're overcomplicating this at this point. It's like, wait a minute. If you just want to pump and dump the game, then... If you just want to pump and dump the game, then why get a good studio to do it? Just do what everybody else does. Like Outright Games. Just get, like, a shovelware dev to do it. The quality doesn't matter at that point, right? It's just the fact that it has the license. You can find torrents of it online. It works fine. There's even a 60 FPS mod for it, but legally, the game was only sold for 6 months. Imbecile company. I don't know why they thought that that was a good idea. It's like you could just do this like everybody else and just get randos to do it for cheap. Because that's what makes the most sense. There's a reason why they do that. I actually legally bought Transformers. I legally bought that game. It's not like it's something to be proud of, it's just the fact that I bought it at launch ended up being a good thing because you can't get it anymore. It's like the only reason. It's not like it's that out of the ordinary for me to get a character action game like instantly, but I do feel good that I did it because there is no longer an opportunity. Yeah, there's a lot of depth to it. A lot of people said that it didn't have depth, but it does. It just doesn't look like it at first glance. And I actually think that the gear system is really cool, and I wish more character action games had stuff like that. You know that in the amount of time it's been since DMC 5, that the entire rest of the series, except for the reboot and 4 special edition, you know how weird that is? Just think about that for a second. It's gonna be 7 years next month, right? In that amount of time, we got 1, 2, 3, and 4. And 3 special edition in that time period. And now, it's been almost 7 years, and there's been nothing. The only thing that's happened is, game-wise, is, what's it called? Peak of Combat, which now is starting to have more of an identity, for sure. Not so much at launch. At launch, it was kind of, just recycling stuff they already made. But now it's getting more of an identity, but yeah. That much time has passed. You got the entire first 4 games in the time that it's been since 5. I don't know what that company is doing. Say what you want about the Netflix show, but it got a lot of eyes on it, and there's been absolutely nothing going on. I really don't get it. Set the... Hey, thanks, man. Thanks for hanging out. See you next time. Nice chat. Anyone else here? Probably scared all the viewers away with all the Aether Gazer, but hey, that's fine. I did. Full transparency in the title. There's gonna be gacha homework. And now the homework is over. Back to real games now. That was a good homework session though, because I did get the character effectively done with that patch. Can just save up.
なんだ来ないのか。逃がさん。
Give me HP. HP! I need to get my HP back from my gambling.
なんだ
Come on.
来ないのか。
HP. No, refreshes isn't bad. That was not great.
いつまでそうしているつもりだ。準備運動にはなった。感謝する。なんだ来ないのか。諦めろ。これが実力の差だ。全力でいく。悪くはない。なんだ来ないのか。 なんだ来ないのか。いつまでそうしているつもりだ。行くぞ。いつまでそうしているつもりだ。 感謝する。行くぞ。
ではなさそうね。
戦闘終了。こんなものか。全力で行く。悪く思うな。逃がさん。セット。タッ。サーメンファイアサルト。やっ。サーメンファイアサルト。スナックマンスヒット。サーメンファイアサルト。もらった。サーメンファイアサルト。弱い。なめる。ブラックレッド。逃がさん。油断した。サーメンファイアサルト。ヘッ。強制解除。サーメンファイアサルト。はっ。サーメンファイアサルト。なめるな。サーメンファイアサルト。逃がさん。やっ。逃がさん。はっ。セット。はっ。逃がさん。はっ。サーメンファイアサルト。逃がさん。サーメンファイアサルト。行くぞ。はっ。へっ。セット。はっ。行くぞ。サーメンファイアサルト。なんだ。来ない。その程度ではな。出直せ。 ンダーフォール封印が解けた。諦めろ。これが実力の差だ。逃がさん。なんだ来ないのかこの力は。いつまでそうしているつもりだ。準備運動にはなった。感謝する。行くぞサーフェンファイヤーサルト。運命の終焉を刻む。堕落だ。セット。従来よ。行くなんて。竜の雷鳴よ。万物を引き裂け。一撃で終わりだ。一撃で終わりだ。油断した。戦闘終了。こんなものか。全力でいく。悪く思うな。
I wonder what you make of this place. According to my state.
遅いな。
いつまでそうしているつもりだ。この力は。
待たせたようだな。準備はできておるようだな。これが世の世界だ。もう幕引きの時だ。ほう、来るがよい。これは味わえ。味わえ。
GG's. That was a clean run. Wow. Clean run. GG.
Acer, I have acquired new data regarding this space. I will
諦めろ。これが実力の差だ。
Bullet Extreme Zone clear. Is that Lychee? No, Lychee is not in the game currently. Probably will get added eventually, but not in the game currently, if that's what you're asking. That was a very clean run. Made the right decisions.
Welcome to the Ace Mind training system.
Alright, well, that's gonna do it for tonight, folks. That was, some quite powered gaming. Gacha homework led to a, S rank, got double S circuit, and then, that was a pretty clean, bullet run, so I don't think I have a whole lot more in me. If I am unable to sleep, then we'll come back and we'll do some East 10. Otherwise, in the morning when I wake up, we'll do some of that. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the run. That was quite the show. Everything just kind of came together. Next up is doing that for a lot of the other characters I enjoy. I'll see you guys later. Good night, everybody. Thanks for hanging out.